Greetings everybody, Mr. Munir here with an introduction to your fan car project. Now I'm going to keep this short and sweet. What's the project? Well, you've got to create some kind of car body first, and don't pay attention to this because I actually made this different. This uses a gear to get those wheels rotating rather than a fan. But you're going to make an actual fan car. So the first thing that you want to do is create some kind of car body. And what I did here is I just took a piece of cardboard and I glued these little white gear strip things onto it with just Elmer's glue. Hot glue works too. And yeah, so if you don't have Elmer's glue, you don't have hot glue, then like tape would probably work, but it won't work nearly as well, obviously. And then the cool thing about these white things is they have these holes that you can put a shaft right through. And so that's exactly what I did. So note that like if you put a shaft in the wheel and you jam it on real tight, it actually is really hard to get it out. So you might need pliers to get it out. But these metal shafts are just meant for the tires. So that works really well. And then you just kind of slide them through the holes and boom, put it in and you're good. Now notice this shaft can like slide back and forth, but this shaft actually cannot slide back and forth. And the way that I accomplished that was by putting these little orange pieces here, and I glued these gears, these white gears, onto the cardboard. I don't know if you guys can see that. So there's that white gear there. I glued that onto the cardboard. And then I have this little orange piece that I stuck on the shaft, and that orange piece is actually really tight on the shaft, so it doesn't slide around really easily. And so this white gear stops that orange piece from moving any further, and I have them on both sides. And on this side I have a gear, but that little orange piece would work there too. And then boom, you can see I'm trying to slide it back and forth, but it doesn't go. Okay, so that's cool. So maybe you want to make it so that it can slide back and forth. Maybe you want to make it so it doesn't slide back and forth. Generally speaking, it can be better if it doesn't slide back and forth because then it's just more stable. Okay, so that's the body idea. Now, the next part of it obviously is your fan circuit. And so you can see here, I've actually taken Elmer's glue and glued this motor onto the cardboard body, and I've also glued the switch onto the body. So that's basically what you're going to do here, except you just have to make sure that your fan is glued in such a way that a couple things. This wouldn't even work if you look at my car, because if you see it, the fan actually sticks out below the wheels. That's not going to work, right? So yes, make sure that when you're making your car, the fan doesn't stick out below the wheels, because then it won't be able to spin because it will hit the ground. But you're going to want to glue your fan on in such a way that it's like points to the front or the back. Obviously, if you point it to like the side, that like most obviously would not work at all, because like, I don't know, I just think that's obvious. Like, you don't want it to go this way, you're rolling this way. So you want it to point to the front or the back of your car, depending upon which way you want your car to move. And you can just glue that on there using hot glue, or you can use Elmer's glue. I found Elmer's glue works really well. You just have to let it sit for a little while. Okay, and then you can glue your switch on just like I glued it on. And then you see I have these two rubber bands, and the reason for those rubber bands is for the battery. And boom, that battery stays nice and tight in there with those rubber bands. You don't want to glue the battery on because you want to use it for other projects and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the idea. The last thing I will say is this. I don't want you guys just making a piece of cardboard as your car body. I want you to be more creative, have fun with it, and make it look like a NASCAR, make it look like a unicorn spaceship, make it look like something totally cool and unique and fun, and just have fun with it. This isn't meant to be the kind of thing where you're like, oh, I have to spend 5,000 hours making the most cool, epic car. If you do spend a lot of time, that's great. But this isn't meant to be the kind of thing where you feel like it has to be this like exquisitely decorated robot fan car thing. That's not the idea. So don't feel pressure to spend like 50 hours on this, or 20 hours, or even 10 hours. But also it shouldn't be the kind of thing that's just like a 1 hour thing. Like you just make, or 20 minutes where you just like, oh, I made it. That's cool. Like the idea is to put some love into it, to put some energy, some enthusiasm into it, some creativity, make it your own, make it a cool car thing. Like I said, if you want to spend tons and tons of time making it like the coolest car ever, I'm going to be very happy. You're going to blow me away. I'm just going to be so like excited, be like, oh, why didn't I think of that? But the general expectation is that this entire project takes you anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. Okay, so think about it like that: 3 to 5 hours in total for this whole project. Okay, um, I think that's pretty clear. Um, yeah, yeah, and maybe that's a lot. Maybe like 2 to 5 hours. I don't know. Don't feel bad if you only spend 2 hours on this. It's like if you the most important thing is not really the time that you spend on it, it's just the quality of your build. Remember, the rubric is in the Google Docs, so check that. I'm going to be looking to make sure it's nice and stable, it's strong, like your build is good, there's no sloppiness, and that when it drives, it goes fast. So don't think too much about spending all this time. Think more about building the best possible robot fan car that you can make. All right. That's it. I think I've been clear and I think I've been concise. So with that being said, that's it for me for now. Until next time, enjoy being awesome.